It is time to really put your foot down when it comes to whatever's going on with Anthony Joshua. It's obvious that this fighter is being misguided and the boxing public is being misled with everything attributed to this man facing Deontay Wilder. And it's finally time to just move on away from the possibilities of this fight. The notion of these two men coming together, get it out of your mind, because there are factions that just don't want this to take place, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Deontay Wilder and his camp. Let's talk about it a little more. We've been looking ahead in 2023 for fights that can make a difference in the sport of boxing. Matchups, sometimes long overdue, sometimes those that have cooked just to the point that they're ripe. But what's going on with Anthony Joshua and his camp, as they are not looking to face Deontay Wilder? All types of excuses are being made. Things are just coming up. So we have to ask, what's the reason this time? I mean, are you not sick of this entire charade? I know that I am. And I'm telling you that these two fighters, when their careers are said and done, if they've never faced each other, it will be just like when Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis never faced each other. And they will only have Joshua, Matchroom, and Ed Hearn to blame. Now, before anyone gets in their little tizzy of why I say Matchroom and Ed Hearn, one has to understand and look at the history. Ed Hearn has made deals with fighters that were not named Deontay Wilder, and saw to it that fighters were overpaid, fighters were compensated for being independent, fighters were given rematch clauses. But when it has come down to dealing with Deontay Wilder, Hearn has been most disrespectful. And the latest proves that he just wants to be in the midst of blocking whatever Deontay has got going on. But he's also a part of a greater group that have enacted these practices. The Saudis were willing to compensate these fighters to make a tremendous fight take place by December of this year. They were going to pay these men as they have never been paid before, without their promotional interferences and the opportunity to really be compensated with generational wealth on both sides. Now, leading up to that, Anthony Joshua was down. He stated, "Bring on Wilder." Deontay Wilder has always felt ready to answer the call when someone said his name. In the past, negotiations were baffled because Hearn and Matchroom were either looking to outright rob Wilder as far as purse considerations, rematch clauses, and overall integrity. But this latest effort by he has to be acknowledged as something that is a thorn in the side of these two men being able to get it on. It was a shame when Joshua, just a couple of years ago, signed a lifetime deal with Matchroom without even considering going anywhere else, so he could get better deals. That doesn't necessarily mean better pay, but better deals. The luxury of being able to fight fighters without restrictions if you want to prove yourself to be the best. And he does have the consideration of being a two-time heavyweight champion, but he lost that position in back-to-back losses, defending the titles against former undisputed cruiserweight Alexander Usyk. In the meantime, Wilder finished a trilogy with Tyson Fury that saw him come out of that situation, and he now has 2 losses on his record as a result. I'm not going to go into my thoughts on that, but the record reads 2 losses. So now that Joshua has a record of 26-3 with 23 KOs, having dropped the lofty position of being undefeated, he appeared to be ready to take the step up and face the Bronze Bomber, whose record now is 43, 2 losses, 1 draw with 42 KOs. These two men are this era's top heavyweights, even though Tyson Fury exists somewhere between the realms. It was these two men who originally were champions that people wanted to see in a unification for undisputed. And now that Usyk has the belts that Joshua once owned, and Fury has the title that Wilder once had, the fact that the fans want to still see these two men lock horns, it shows you how insignificant the current champions are. And they are not interested in making a deal for Undisputed. So what's really going on in the heavyweight division? And as I stated, what's the reason this time that this fight may be in jeopardy? Look at what Hearn has to say and look no further for the truth. Because he has done and said things that keeps the public off kilter, because he's very deceptive and disingenuous. Yesterday, September 8th, 2023, further disingenuous remarks from Hearn states that he's waiting to receive a contract for a 2024 showdown with Deontay Wilder. But this is 2023, and they were looking for a December bout. When asked after his victory over Robert Helenius about Joshua Wilder, Anthony Joshua gave some weird remark about his back going out and being in bad shape for carrying the heavyweight division, but never mentioned Wilder's name, even though the talk had been the next fight is going to be Wilder in December. The lies. The Saudis wanted to make this happen for the sport and to build on their promotion of fighters being compensated properly. Hearn said, "We've agreed to terms for Joshua Wilder, but until we receive a contract, the fight is not happening." You see that? He's not even making it hopeful that the fight's going to happen. He's given an ultimatum of the fight not happening. They're already looking somewhere else, people. He says, politically, it sounds like there's a lot going on. For us, we are ready to take the fight. Shelly Finkel and I have spoken. They are ready to take that fight. It doesn't have to happen in Saudi Arabia. There are now other talks about other countries that it could take place in. There is a movement of management and ownership of boxing in Saudi. And it's up to them what they want to do. If they don't do Joshua Wilder, maybe it goes somewhere else. It's one of the biggest fights in heavyweight boxing. We are being told that they do want to do it. I really wouldn't be surprised if Joshua ended up fighting Fury. You see, Hearn is already at work throwing other fighters' names into the arena, not speaking on the desire to get the deal done. How many years has this been? It's been too long. And unless you truly want to face Wilder, why are you bringing up other guys' names? Now, according to another article, Hearn says the fight might not happen due to a shift in the management in Saudi. Listen, Hearn has bad relations with the Saudis, allegedly. And he's trying to stand in the way of Joshua. This has nothing to do with Matchroom, has nothing to do with Hearn. They were willing to make this deal between the two fighters. It is being said that the Matchroom boss man Hearn sounded gloomy talking about the Joshua Wilder fight potentially not happening. But they've been oh so anxious to get in against everyone else. I believe at the end of the day, this comes down to Hearn not being able to have future rights to anything regarding Deontay Wilder. Wilder has stood stone cold and alone in his independence. He's his own man. Wilder doesn't even need the sport at this point in his career. He's fighting for something more. What that is, he'll tell you that. But it's not about the money, and it's not about the fight game itself. But for Hearn to have the type of influences that will hold a deal like this up, you must understand that this isn't a first go round. Hearn has a history of harming fighters' careers. Those who could remember Kell Brook. Kell Brook was a world welterweight champion with the IBF. And Hearn sent him up north to face Gennady Golovkin. That's where Hearn influence over Kell Brook's career, instead of having him face the quality of opposition that loomed in the welterweight division, the Keith Thurmans, the Errol Spence Jr.'s, and the soon-to-be Terrence Crawford, Danny Garcia. He sends him up to face Gennady Golovkin. And that's where he ended up with the fractured eye socket. 2 weight divisions. There was no need for that. No need for it. And he's done this to other fighters. Do we not remember Amir Khan and his relations with Matchroom and Hearn, and what happened there? Do you remember Khan being knocked out by Canelo Alvarez? Do you remember Khan talking about his career, but he remained a little mum, tight-lipped about what was really happening behind the scenes? Or how about Billy Joe Saunders? Yeah, another sacrificial lamb to Canelo Alvarez by Matchroom. What's really going on with this man, Hearn? What's going on? I'm telling you what's going on. The mismanagement of the fighters. That's what's going on. And enough is enough. As we watch what happens going forward, Anthony Joshua may find a fighter to face, but it's not going to be Deontay Wilder. There were talks of the possibility of this fight having a 2-fight deal, and one of the fights could take place in Africa. What a shot in the arm it would be for the sport of boxing. But there's some turmoil going on over in the areas of Africa where they may consider having the fight. But this isn't what Hearn really wants to do. He's poisoning the sport slowly and poisoning the fighters. And something needs to be done about this, because it's not pleasant at all. I'm about as sick of it as I could be. But what do you think? This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about Hearn stepping in the way and just harming the sport, keeping the great fights from happening, holding up Anthony Joshua's career and legacy, and trying to block Deontay Wilder's. Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there. And everyone, please remain safe.